Hey y'all, Bridget Chandler here at Athens State University, and the purpose of this video is to orient you to the CE 470, CE 471, and CE 472 practicum and supervised work-based experiences. Now, when you enter the course, you're gonna it should take you to the announcements page, and what you will see there is just a little explanation about the practicums, and this lets you know that this is an online course, but it is not like other courses in that it is a practicum. And these are considered electives for education majors and certification seekers. And then some other majors as well, maybe in these courses or in these practicum. This does not require you to participate the same as you would in another type of online course because it is self-directed, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But you'll see some notes about the course, and it just lets you know that in this practicum you're going to utilize certain buttons to the left of the screen or links, and those are the Start Here, the Attendance Verification, and the Practicum Report, so that you can complete and turn that in. And you can email me or others who may be in this practicum with you using the Tools button for email. And then just a little bit about a practicum. Now this kind of applies whether it be one of the 470s or the 480s or even any of the practicum that you may be involved with here at Athens State University. But a practicum course is very different from a regular course. Education practica are project, product, and process assignments completed during practicum courses designed for education students or related who are completing the undergraduate programs here at Athens State. And practica are self-initiated, and all this is on the announcements page. I'm trying to not read it, but I am reading it. But they're self-initiated and self-directed, largely due to the wide spectrum of the program areas within education. So you get to kind of guide and gauge your own practicum based on your program area and your interests and where you are in the educational program for your undergraduate degree. You all students will utilize an experience for your coursework that showcases your learning. Again, that's very generic for whichever practicum you may be in. Practica provide an opportunity for you as students to choose an area of interest and engage in an in-depth exploration of that area. And with this one, it is tailored toward the work-based learning experience. Practica contribute to an educational plan of challenging courses and practical experiences. So we feel that this experience can be just as useful for you depending upon where you are, what you're doing, as any other type of course. But just like with any course, the practica are you're only gonna get out of them what you really put into them. So that goes for any type of course that we would be talking about. Okay, so that's your announcements, and that's the page you should come to when you log into the course. Then you will see the Start Here button on the left, and so you would want to start there, where hopefully you have found this video and you're hearing me discuss the parts of the practicum with you. You will also see under the Start Here button the technical requirements for the course, and then a little bit about me. If you are in a different practicum that I'm not leading or facilitating, then you would see instructor information about whomever else it is there. And there's also a link for you to email me from there and my office phone number posted for you. Then you will see an information tab. That is for your reference. Within the information tab, you will see a link to the Vocational Information Center. That particular link takes you to all types of resources. It's kind of a resource center for career and technical education. So I have a list of those resources that you can print out, but you can also go to the website there. And then the Common Career and Technical Core is just a PDF that's linked for you in case that you wanted to reference the Common Core in Career and Technical Education. Those are just references, just in case you need them or want to look at them. They may or may not benefit you, depending again upon what your area of focus is during your practicum. All right. You will want to complete your distance learning contract. You will read through that and complete the distance learning, career and technical distance learning contract verification. That is your attendance verification for this course, and it acts kind of like a test that you will complete, but it is self-assessing, and it is for us to verify that you are indeed attending the course so that we can report you as attending. Then finally, you will see a link that's to the Practicum Report itself. So when you are finished with your Practicum study, then you will go into this area and you will click on the first button that says Practicum Report. I just put it at the top to make it easiest for you to find. That's where you will submit it, the very first button. And it says there that Practicum are assessed using the pass-fail grade assignment. So if you complete all portions of your Practicum, depending on, again, what you're in and your area of focus and as it's directed, then you would be assigned a pass or a fail depending upon your performance and what you turn in the practicum. But you will not receive a letter grade such as A, B, C, D, but it would be either a pass or a fail. Participants may choose to take multiple practicum within the same line. For example, you may be in 470, 471, and 472 either in one semester or over a couple of different semesters. That is for a total of 9 credit hours. So for that, if you choose to take 470, 471, and 472, then you must use a different location or business for each practicum, and you should focus on a different skill set within your program area for each practicum report. So I give you an example here, and I just use welding instructor as your example. But your area may be completely different. But this one I just chose welding instructor. So here's my example for you. In 470, you may visit Acme Industry Welding. And in that particular 100 hours, you're going to focus on the types of welding joints used at Acme. And you'll see why I've specified that when we discuss the practicum modules in just a moment. For 471, you would go to Magical Welding Company, and you would focus on the types of welding certifications or credentials required at Magical Welding Company, and then what skill sets may be necessary to successfully meet those requirements. Again, that will make more sense when we get into the modules. Then finally, for 472, you would go to YOLO Welding. So you've gone to 3 different industries or different businesses all within the same industry and completed that first module of 100 hours of observation. But it's at 3 separate places for each practicum. So in one practicum, you go to one place, but if you're in 3 practicum, you go to 3 places. And for example, on 472, if you're at YOLO Welding Incorporated, then you're going to focus on MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. Those are just examples of how you must differentiate the practicum. So you would have to apply that to your program area so that you could, if you choose to participate in all 3, so that you have 3 separate practicum reports to submit, and you'll do that in each course. All right, so you're reporting. You'll scroll down and you'll get more specific directions. So to get started, you're going to secure a business location. So if you're going to YOLO, then you want to contact YOLO Welding and make sure that you know someone that's going to know that you're coming in, and this can be paid or unpaid. This can be strictly for observation, or this may be somewhere that you actually work. That is fine. But again, you have to have 3 separate places if you're in 3 different practicum. But you're going to secure that location, and you're going to let them know that you have to observe for 100 hours. And again, it can be purely observation, it can be working, it can be job shadowing. That part does not matter. The location must be in your program area, not in your school. So you're going out in a business and industry. You cannot do hours in your classroom, even if you're teaching welding and you want to observe in your classroom. That doesn't work for this particular practicum. So if you teach cosmetology, this example is given, then you must spend 100 hours in a salon. So FACS instructors may elect to spend time in varied areas such as child care centers, bakeries, or restaurants. If you are an agri-science teacher, or if you, again, you can differentiate by your technical area, but that is up to you, but it must be out in business and industry. So in order to conclude this practicum study, you must address all 4 modules in writing. You must include information that addresses each module. So you should divide this up and have clear headings for each module. And then you would use subheadings to clearly outline your report so that there's not a lot of questions as to why you chose to include something in your report. So please make sure that you use lots of headings and subheadings. You may use lists. It may be narratively written. You can use tables. That is completely up to you. All of those are acceptable. It just depends on, again, what specific area you are working in and what your technical area is. Sometimes it may make more sense to be in a table, whereas other times you may need to use some narrative writing. But you must determine that during this practicum. You are going to submit the written report by clicking on the link that's just above this tab here as I'm scrolling down and looking to make sure I'm covering everything. And then you will attach your complete report as one PDF or Word document. So you may use either a PDF or Word document, and please submit the whole report at one time. And this should be just one. Don't submit 4 documents. Adhere to your due dates, and this is all due by the end of the semester, so make sure that by the last week of the classes that you've submitted this. So Module 1, this is what you're going to do. Keep a daily log reflecting of your experiences during your 100-hour internship of work or observation in the field of your program area. So this must be current. That's something that you are doing. So you're going to keep this log of the hours that you're there and the dates. And so the business must be open and fully functioning. This field experience cannot be completed in your current teaching position. We've already said that. So it must take place out in the field. So this is just like a sign-in out log of the dates you're there and the time you're there. That's your Module 1. Module 2. List in priority order the important attributes the company stresses and expects of the employees as you have selected. So again, if you're going back to that example I gave on welding. So if we are at YOLO, and if I scroll back up here, and at YOLO we're focusing on MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. So applying that to Module 2, priority order the attributes the company stresses and expects of your employees concerning MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. So what are they looking for? What's important to the company where you're observing in that specific area of welding, and then even more specifically for a topic within your area. Then Module 3, make an up-to-date list of the job positions recognized by the company for MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. Again, if you're doing more than one practicum, then you're going to want to differentiate that. Then finally, Module 4, and this is where it's going to get really, really, really important that you know which area you're focusing on, because you're going to do an occupational analysis for your area, your occupation, so your technical area, and in that specific. So go back to the example of the YOLO welding. If we're talking about MIG, stick, TIG, and flux welding, if that's your area of focus, then you're going to have to do an occupational analysis on those 4 areas, and then compare and contrast what the state course of study says that you should teach, or maybe your plan of instruction says that you should teach about MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. And the purpose behind this is that hopefully in the 100-hour allotment of time that you're spending there, you will see either or both that what we are required to teach in our program areas is what's currently being used out in business and industry, or like your lesson plans maybe might end up getting some massaging or changing by what you're seeing. So like if you see something different than what you have been teaching, then you're going to adapt what you're teaching to meet the business needs. If you already have been teaching what the industry says, then that's what you will reflect after your occupational analysis. You will say, these are the skill sets needed for, in our example, MIG, TIG, stick, and flux welding. Currently, I teach those skill sets. So then your conclusion would be that you're on track. Like, yay you. However, if you're not teaching those, and that is something that the company values, or maybe the way that they, the priority order, then you might want to adjust your lesson plans, and you probably should, to reflect the needs of your local business and industry, which is why you're out observing them. So that is the whole sum total. And again, the write-up itself, there's no specific amount of pages or anything like that. You just must cover the topic. So I probably need to add a link, so I'll go ahead and do that. Add a link about occupational analysis for you, just so you can see what that is and what that looks like. But hopefully this has covered all of the information that you will need to be able to successfully complete this practicum project. And if not, please let me know, and I will do my best to help you in any way possible. Thank you so much, and have a great day.